When we fall in love, it is always the wish that you get married to your love, live together for as long as possible, having good times, having good memories, living life together, growing old, and then eventually when death comes knocking on the door, you'd hope that you both die at the same time. But what do you do when, with all these plans and with all these wishes you have in your head, somewhere along the line, your loved one passes on? Have you ever taken a moment to think about what your life will be like, God forbid, if your loved one passes on? Today I get to share this set with an amazing lady who's got a very chilling story of love, loss, and hope. My name is Joel Dania, and I welcome you back to this channel where we discuss all things love, marriage, and parenting. Stay tuned. So Petra, and I know you wouldn't mind me asking specifically about what happened afterwards. And if you don't mind telling us, what was it that happened that changed your life altogether in your marriage?
What we never planned and dream of, isn't it? Yeah, you always feel, oh, I'll be married to my best friend, and life will go on. You'll be thinking about all the good things and good stuff. Yeah, but it wasn't really an easy journey with the injury, still going to hospitals, still being that carer and all. And on that fateful day, that was in 2016. Yeah, it was around midnight, I think, or was it dawn? Yeah, it just happened there. He had kind of seizure, and he recovered, and we prayed. He had a drink of water, and next again, so within about 10 minutes he had another seizure again, and that was when he didn't recover. So the ambulance came and we went, and it was the ICU. Yeah, so that was a Friday, isn't it? I think. Yeah.
So just being unwell
Just like
suddenly,
that. Yeah,
straight into the intensive
just
care
like that.
unit.
He just like that, because I remember that day, because that time I was pregnant, isn't it? Just about 3 months, is it? Yeah, so I had come from work.
You were 3 months pregnant when this happened.
I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, either 5 or 3, because it's 2016 December. Yeah, and I gave birth in April, isn't it? Yeah, so I came back from work during the evenings, 9 p.m.-ish somehow. And he had even gone into the account, because there has been payment, salary and all. He even went on, said, oh, I've put your tithe here. Like, he wrote that paper, I think I still have it. Okay. Like, this is your tithe, go and pay it. And that's the kind of relationship we used to have. So he took all those fractions of money and he wrote it down, because I was sleeping, I was tired. And it happened in the dawn, and Dad had also gone for a night shift, so it was just me and him at home when it happened. Yeah, so that's just, so I would just say the only conversation we had would be the only time I just came during that evening, and that was it. Yeah, it just happened like so fast, isn't it? Unplanned and all. Anyway, it's never planned.
I remember this so well, like it happened yesterday, because I remember you phoned me and told me that you were in a hospital with Matthias, and at that time I was living in where was I living?
Red Hill.
Was I living in Red Hill then? Yes, I was living in Red Hill in Surrey, and I remember I had just come off a shift and I had some days off, so I said, okay, I'm just coming straight to Reading.
Yeah, which was really helpful.
Guys, it's very easy for us to talk about it now, but it wasn't an easy time. I remember so well, Petra. You were pregnant at that time. I was with you in the intensive care unit, and I so can remember sitting on the chair by his bedside, and then he having a cardiac arrest. and the medical team came
Rushed
running
in.
through, came and resuscitated him, and it was one arrest after another arrest, to the point that they had to come and speak to us, didn't they?
Yeah, in that side room.
In that side room, they said they were not going to resuscitate him again if he gets a cardiac arrest. So that was how quickly that went.
Quickly. Yeah.
And thinking about it now, Petra, I can't still get my head around how you handled that news when we were told he had passed.
I can't even, I can't even visualize it. I think I was just sitting down quietly, isn't it?
I think you were in massive shock because you didn't say a word. You didn't say a word. I sat there when they took off his oxygen and everything, and you went into that side room. You sat there quietly. You didn't say a word. You were pregnant at that time, and oh my goodness, I didn't know what to say to you.
What words?
I don't know what to say to you because you had just lost your husband. Your husband literally just died.
Yeah.
And I was speechless. I looked at you, you were quiet, and I was like, what am I going to say to her? Truth is, I went into the bathroom and I cried.
Yeah.
And then I came back. So however you handled that time, I still can't get my head around it.
Yeah. That's what, I just think God equipped me. I don't know how. Yeah, I think, I don't know, there are certain angelic help that comes in times of trouble, and that is what I think happened. Maybe like God just sent an angel to kind of embrace me. I think kept me in a bubble. So it's like nothing outside was penetrating, even though it was a loss. But I think because me myself, I can't explain it.
I must say it takes a lot of courage for you to recount this, to talk about this, Petra, and I do commend you for that, for having that courage to even talk about it, because for many people that would have been the end of their lives, really. But here you are today, many years down the line.
And even looking at it, being pregnant as well.
Yes.
Because prior to that, in Ghana, I had lost like 2 pregnancies. So for me to lose without any shaking, and this one, a very big blow, and the pregnancy is intact, that should just tell you the hand of God was there. The hand and I just had a sense of peace, which I can't, because you remember when we were sitting opposite the bed, you remember when you were saying hold his hand, talk to him, like when I think he was literally like leaving, I think there was that sense of he had seen something that he didn't really want to return, That's really what I feel, and he definitely would have asked God definitely to give this lady like big peace, because he wouldn't have even realized how Petra would live. Because he was like everything. When they say someone, I can't live without you, even though those sayings, we should be able to live without them, but it's like that. I couldn't imagine someone who does like everything, who plans your life, who motivates you, who pushes you into things, who guides your steps, who protects you against the world, even against family, but this person is not there. How, but it's just God. There is nothing, because I didn't prepare for it. I didn't like read books and prepare.
How do you prepare for something like that?
So we can't give the credit to anyone. The credit was just God. It's God. God just, I think, embraced me with peace. That's what happened.
Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for acknowledging what you think was your strongest support in all of it. Petra, so your husband passed away when you were pregnant. Do you want to tell us about what it's been like for you having the baby not knowing who her dad is, and how have you managed to raise such an intelligent, beautiful 6-year-old?
Still God. Still God. Sometimes what I say is when we are young and then we pray for things and we ask for things, sometimes we might not see the results immediately when we are young. It's when we grow up and we are in certain tests and trials, those prayers kind of work. Yes, because that strength, that peace, I think are invested prayers, and that is how I have been, through that journey. It hasn't been easy, because in the beginning, still with that pregnancy and that shock, sometimes you just end up crying. You end up asking God, can you reveal this person to me? Just tell me what it is. It hasn't been that kind of, maybe seeing him every night to tell me what. It hasn't been like that, but God has never left me, and that I know. Not like someone has told me. I have experienced God for myself, so I can say or talk about God within my experience. He has been there. He's held me. His goodness and his mercy has followed me.
Hallelujah.
And he has made people stood in. So that is it. He himself might not be down, but through people have been my rock. People have been there. People like you, Angela. People like my in-laws. They have been there, and it's that support that has kept me. It's that support,
So how's it been like being a mum to a little girl? She doesn't know her dad.
She doesn't know her dad. Not easy. When they are babies, you not think they would you'll be like, oh, they'll be fine. But as they grow up, they see things, isn't it? So they begin to ask that question. But that's one of the things. As for me and my little girl, I've tried and I've been open with her. And thank God for that wisdom God has given her to make her understand that, you had a dad, and this is he. There are pictures around for you to see, but he's in heaven with God, and yes. So it's just that kind of interactions, and that's how we've been there. And it's each one day at a time, actually. We don't really plan for a week or a month, no. As the day comes, we just take it as it's one day at a time. Yes, I don't do some bulk planning. Okay, nah, one day. Because every day is different based on the interactions I have with her, based on the questions she will ask. So not easy, but God is in it, which makes it.
Well, that's good. That's good to know that you always think about how God helps you in such situations. I must say that I've told you this before, that even as a parent with my wife being there, it's not easy to look after these children. How much more you by yourself, looking after the girl, looking after Elisa, working full time in the UK with I know what it is like. So it definitely says a lot about your character and your mettle in being able to raise such a beautiful, very intelligent young lady.
Thank you.
And it's my prayer that God will continue to give you that strength to do that. Give you that strength to do that. Wow. What's next for you then? What's your life like? What are you trusting God for? And I want to ask you specifically, are you hoping to get married again? Are you wanting to start all over again? Or what is it like for you? Where are you?
Oh, definitely. just maybe in the beginning when you ask me, I'll be like, no.
Okay.
But after all these years, 6 years down the lane, yes. Yes.
I'm sure he would want you. I know I've always had this conversation with my wife. I tell her that, listen, if I die, wherever I am, I want you to be happy. I want you to move on. So, do you feel that way as well? That he'll be happy for you to?
Oh, sure. That's he's always about my happiness. So he would be, yeah.
I mean, that's 6 years down the line.
6 years.
I mean, that's even a long time, honestly. I know men and who have married within less than a year, they've moved on.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying in the beginning, isn't it? The men have a different biological makeup, you know, and it's not any fault of theirs. It's how God created that thing, and so it's not. There's no grudging in that. Yeah, but with women it's kind of different, and having a child as well. Yeah. So if there wasn't a child factor, that might have been quicker. But because it's a child factor, because moving on is not about me. What I would love is the person taking Elisa more, even loving Elisa more than me. Okay. And that's where the whole thing is. That's where the whole. My main priority is a man who fears God. Okay. Because as I always say, if you fear God, you wouldn't do something to hurt your neighbor in a way. If once God is your first priority, you will, do things to please God. So that is the thing. You need to fear God, and it's just not just anyone in church raising their hand or playing instruments or singing it. No, not that. When you fear God, because our spirit to be the one. For me, my spirit has to connect to you first before physical attraction. Yes. So most of those that are coming, just a few, those that are in those ministry lanes, you realize that the spirit does connect in that sense, but most people when they come there is more.
Well, if you're watching this and you if you have any interest, come and see me, and I'll connect you.
And don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
I'm just as simple as I am.
Come on.
That's the thing. People say, "Oh, Petra, we can't approach," and I'm like,
no,
I really don't understand.
Honestly, she's as down to earth, as simple
understand.
as no,
I don't understand, but anyway.
Petra, based on your experience, based on what you've gone through, what would you say is that one thing that you've learned throughout this journey in relation to love, in relation to marriage, and parenting as well? That's what this channel is about. If you want to share something that you've learned through your experience, what would you say?
I think there is a lot, but what I always say is every love life, marriage, parenting is unique to that particular person. So for me, throughout the journey, I have learned what would work for me. Okay. And that is the fact that, for instance, God should always be the center of it all. The journey is stormy, it's not a lie, but once God is kind of in it, the piece that holds together all the pieces is there. And I just
the piece that holds together all the pieces. That's really profound.
I rely on God. That is me. Trust in no man. Believe in men. I do have, because people do support us and all that, which I'm very appreciative of. But God is my go-to. I when I have a burden, I do cry, and He's the one I'll cry to. I wouldn't go outside and cry to any man just for you to see my tears. So what I've learned is that God should be your go-to. God should be the one who should see the weakness. And the thing is that God sees my weakness. Just imagine being active in sex, you know, and then now not being. Don't you think is more?
For 6 years.
That one is more challenging than when you were single and you didn't know anything.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be God I would go to? You know, sometimes I tell people, because I go to God with this, I go and I'm like, Charlie, Daddy, Holy Spirit, help. Yeah. And when I say that feelings have been switched off, people will not understand.
Right.
It's not that there are no feelings, but God, the Holy Spirit has had his way, and he will do the embracing, he will do the, you know, he keeps me where I am safe.
Wow.
So I have learned to be safe in God.
Wow.
That is, and not place myself in any temptation. Not place myself where, you know,
learn to feel safe in God.
Feel safe in God, and ask always God, you know, to lead and direct, and wisdom, you know, just like King Solomon, just ask for, because sometimes some issues will come in making decisions for this little one, making decisions for my personal self. You just need that wisdom to be able to differentiate, is this God's way? Because sometimes the door will look so good, but is it God? Because I know the devil can also give you something beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, but it's coated. So God's, is this really what God is asking me to do? So I do inquire, and that is what I've learned. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. Did I ever think I would marry my childhood best friend and you know, ever lose him on the way? Nah. So nothing is really permanent. Only God. So we just rely on him.
Only God.
Only God. Only God.
You mentioned that there are some people that you who have been there for you, who have supported. I just want to give you this opportunity. Maybe any specific individuals that you just want to say a thank you to. I'm sure if I leave you, spend the whole day.
Tell me about it. I'll just be counting.
If there are just a few key people that you just want to
there are
say
for me. There are lots. First, maybe the church, because when he passed, the church was there. So like the whole church, there is that. I will not like mentioning it was in the church, but the church as a whole has been supportive. Yeah, and Ma Susie and Dad Thomas as my in-laws, who even before that took me more. I was more like the daughter than the daughter-in-law, so that's as well, and the whole family there, and then you guys here as well. You and Angela have been supportive, both financially and advising, you know. Yeah, so there are lots. And in Reading, where I am, I've got, as the church is in Reading, I've got the youth, for instance, very supportive, giving Elisa, like, you know, birthdays, Christmas, really. And then my family as well, Patrick and Harriet Hayford, now Pastor Mrs. Hayford, yeah. And then there are 2 kids that are more like siblings to Elisa as well, that makes her feel, you know, I've got family, you know, and she calls their dad like Daddy Patrick, just to make it look, she knows it's not the dad, but she's always Daddy Patrick. She's made that distinction. But yeah, very supportive people, and sometimes just people just come out of nowhere, and sometimes where you get somewhere you need help, and when you feel someone has helped you and you just think it's an angel, you know, when God plants people. So as for the shoutouts, is to all those who feel they've been of help.
Thank God that in difficult times he brings people out to support and to be there, which I think is very important. Because we need to be there for each other. And my family particularly, we are very pleased that you are part of our family.
And we are.
That you would even spend your Easter break with us over here, and we do not take it for granted. And I must commend you again, Petra, for being open and honest and sharing your life story with us. It naturally would have been that you will sit here very moody and disappointed in God and angry, but clearly you have lived through your pain, and I can see the hand of God upon your life.
Yes, yes.
And
yes.
I have no doubts at all that God has got you covered.
Oh,
and
He's got my
He'll,
back.
He'll
Yeah.
grant you your heart desires.
Yes.
Thank you
yes,
very much
yes,
for
yes.
speaking to us.
Thank you
This
too.
this has been a really chilling conversation.
Yeah.
Hearing Petra's story and what she's gone through, her love, her loss, her hope that she has now, and if you are in such a similar situation, I just want you to be encouraged by Petra's story and keep trusting God, and He will definitely come in through for you. I hope that you found this video useful and you've learned some lessons from Petra's story. We do hope that God will continue to keep all of us. For me, being married, I think that it's very difficult for you to start imagining what your life will be like without when your partner passes away. But I think that if this is life, these things happen, you just have to move on with your life. But God help us all. Thank you again for watching, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.
And until we come your way again with another video, thank you for watching, and please remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit the notification bell, because I've got so many more lovely and interesting topics and interviews to share on this channel. So I'll see you again in my next video. God bless.
God bless. Bye.